And I think the reason why the Woman King is important is because it's historical and it's real. And, this is absolutely no disrespect to those projects. They serve a different purpose, which is equally as important. But to know that we're not just a fantasy and that we are a reality is extremely, extremely important. And that's what Gina spoke about. That's what all of us at some point in this, in the press have spoken about: the humanization of us, the understanding that not only is it possible, but it was possible. It happened.
Okay. Really good.
For you a choice. Fight or we die.
Y'all, the reviews are in. Variety reports The Woman King reigns over TIFF, and hopefully the Oscars will take notice. And what does it mean to you?
Can we stop there?
Bottles.
No, Jesus.
That's all I see. It will never be the same.
Listen, you're like, it cannot be. Sorry. I'm checked out now. Checked out.
Well, what does it mean to have, all of these kind of rave reviews, words like Oscar be thrown around? And Viola, I ask this to you because it has been a long road to get this movie made.
It feels right. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels. It feels right. It's about time. This movie, like I said, people talk about the vision of the movie and then they see it on screen. Nobody talks about the fight in between to get it made. And it is a fight. It's a fighting for everything. For the actors, for the concept, for the director, for a proper budget. It's a fight. And you're fighting for something that is quite obvious. Because at the end of the day, really what it's about is, can Black women lead a global box office? Is the movie worth being distributed? We've known it all along that we could do it. We've known that we've had a kick-ass script. We know it's undeniable. And so now the world knows. It feels right.
So not only is this, a big moment for you and us getting a chance to, see you on the big screen in person and live and beautiful, but I also understand that this filming started near your hometown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
To be able to bring that to the screen and kind of sit in with the ancestors, but through your home.
No, I really, really appreciated that. It was a pleasant surprise when I first heard of it, and then actually touching down, being able to open my mouth and speak my language, be in a place where we still greatly recognize, our history in terms of, the Zulu history. KwaZulu-Natal is, the land of the Zulus, and we were shooting in Zululand, which is partly where I grew up. It was amazing to have them experience, the safaris, the elephants, sipping on your jacuzzi water or whatever.
Yeah. They were in our backyard drinking from our plunge pool.
Yeah, seeing all of that, going to set every morning, it's just greenery pointing out at giraffes and all these different things. It was amazing. The energy was beautiful. It was everything that we needed to kick off the production.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is full of badass action. No denying that this is an action movie. You're already like, oof. Does it take you back? Does the flashback happen and you're like, oh, these muscles are tired again?
It was PTSD.
Yes, forever. I don't think that will ever fade, actually.
Well, I asked about the action because, we've seen movies like Wonder Woman, we've seen now Black Panther, but this is also a real life story. This is a story of real life woman warriors. Why is it so important, especially now, today, to see women as warriors?
Because it shouldn't have been questioned in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should never be a question. It should have been multicolored women fighting as warriors, as anything strong, physically strong, mentally strong for decades now. So the fact that we're even asking it is bizarre to me. The fact that we're having to prove this now within this movie is very bizarre to me. And I'm glad that we get to create this blueprint, if you like, for the industry, for the world, to continue in this vein so that this isn't a moment in history, it's not a moment in the world, a moment in cinema. It's actually just a staple, it's a given. So that young people out there who are coming into the industry, who are creating on their own, this is their normal. So I'm glad we got to do it, and I'm glad that we had visionaries like Gina who were able to maintain the integrity of these women and of the script and of every department who worked so hard to ensure that everything was as detailed as possible. The nuances in this film, it have to be noticed because it could have gone a different direction, like you said, Gina, and I'm really proud that we were able to keep it that way.
John, to you, as the kind of central male figure in this, what this movie is exploring is the gender dynamics that actually existed in the kingdom of Dahomey. You know, what did it mean to you to be able to be a part of a discussion of a culture where men and women existed, quite frankly, differently than unfortunately happens in our world sometimes?
I mean, it was great. I mean, you saw a reflection of the world we were trying to describe for the audience in this movie on set, because men and women coming together, a lot of black men, a lot of black women coming together, collaborating, despite language barriers, despite cultural barriers, because they're all kind of dedicated and determined by this one goal that brings them together, this one love, if not for themselves, for Dahomey. You know, and for me, that's something that it's easy to forget, you know, because a lot of the times it's a versus situation, it's a debate, and sometimes it's a struggle for us to understand each other. But for me, what this movie represents is how men can be strengthened by connecting with women, and how women can be strengthened by connecting with men, but only when it's through this genuine reciprocal energy. If it's not that, we leave that to the side. But I feel like this film just expresses a nuance that is special. And for me, just even being in this environment was very much like a healing experience for me.
We've talked about that a lot just in general with movies, how movies can heal the people that watch them, but also heal the people that play them. You know, Viola, you've talked about how this has been a period of you redefining yourself for yourself. How did this movie empower you as a person?
Well, it's helped me to find my purpose. You know, quiet as it's kept, it's not always so great being on top. It really isn't. What you find is you're exhausted most of the time. You have more and more demands. You have more and more scrutiny. You're disillusioned because you imagined that it would just be different, and it's not. You're spending a lot of time away from people you love, and you're spending more time with people you don't know. And that really encapsulates it. And then you realize that hitting the glass ceiling is not success, it's significance. That's a glass ceiling. Once you hit it for yourself, you gotta get to a point where you begin to live a life of purpose, and that's about other people. That's about bringing other people up. It's like someone says, your job when you free yourself is you have to free others. And that's what Woman King has meant to me.
Anybody else? How is making this movie changed you?
Well, I mean, listen, when that plane landed and we hit Africa, I felt a kinship. I felt like I belonged in this place. I knew what we were there to accomplish as a group. And it was a beautiful thing. And I remember we had dinner, and I spoke to the whole group about what it meant to me being this older African-American man, finally being on this land and this ground, and the significance of what we were going to do. And now, you know, the critics are speaking loud and clear. This film is starting to resonate across all genders. And so we're all really just extremely excited about what this film is and what it's going to do for the generations of women and young girls everywhere, because this film has got women all over it, and we're better for it. Period.
Well, Kathy, to you on that point as well, you know, we're changing Hollywood from the inside, and we're trying to show this movie can open at the box office and be a success. What was important to you as you kind of started out on this project to say to the industry about making movies like this and why we haven't seen enough of them?
Well, I feel enormously grateful to have been a part of a project like this and to have been finally at a place in my career and as it regarded the advocacy that I've been doing for women for many years, to be able to help convince a studio that now was the time, that the ability to market to women and to diverse people was not a minority opportunity, but a majority opportunity. And it was really hard to convince them, and it actually, took statistics and, kind of really hard research academically to start changing, the story and the norms. And it seemed, early on, like a potentially insurmountable kind of idea, but we had so much energy, and I think when, Viola and Julius joined in that fight, it was all we needed to, push this thing over its obstacles. And I just feel like maybe we've opened up a door and that we're going to be able to allow more stories about more women who are diverse. And also we need it. We just have to understand each other as people, and we can't keep telling the same stories over and over again. So I feel very, very lucky.
This is a moment where we're getting a chance to see women of all ages, dark-skinned women also, get a chance to show a different side of ourselves and also multiple sides of ourselves. This is a movie that shows the strong and the soft, that ability to kind of redefine what an action star looks like and what an action movie can be in all of its layers.
Oh, that was like a really
punch.
hard action. She can take it.
I have to say what was really beautiful is the discussions we had going into this, that foremost, I truly believe that every woman has an innate warrior within them. But so often, certainly when you're a little girl, it's squashed. You're told to be quiet, to be softer. And for us, I just wanted us to be loud up on that screen. And we wanted to make sure that we were putting these women, these warriors in the world that were all shapes and sizes. You're not just one thing. You got Tuso, who's 5'3", and we got Sheila, who's
5'4".
but we wanted all women to be able to look up and see themselves in one of these characters, and we absolutely did.